Beneath the surface of our oceans is a world of beauty and danger. Some dive to explore, some dive to test their limits, and others never come back. These are 5 true diving disasters, stories that reveal how quickly the deep can turn deadly. South Australia's Mount Gambier is famous for its sinkholes, deep flooded caves of stunning blue water. One of them, known simply as the Shaft, became the site of one of the world's most infamous diving accidents. On May 28, 1973, a group of 8 divers entered the cave. 4 of them, Stephen and Christine Millett, Gordon Roberts, and John Bockerman, would never resurface. At first, the dive seemed peaceful. The water was clear, the descent smooth. They swam past a rock pile about 40 meters down, a landmark familiar to local divers. But this time, they decided to go deeper. Without using a guide rope, the divers entered a maze of narrow tunnels covered in fine silt. One misplaced fin kick stirred the bottom. The water turned to black. Visibility dropped to 0. Their lights were useless. Disoriented and panicking, they became trapped beneath a dome of rock, an airless ceiling with no exit. Later, recovery divers found Christine Millett and Gordon Roberts together, still side by side. John Bockerman had swum even deeper, likely disoriented by nitrogen narcosis. Stephen Millett's body was discovered months later, far from where he'd entered. Police divers risked their own lives to retrieve the remains in early 1974. The tragedy shocked Australia and led to the creation of the Cave Divers Association of Australia, which established the strict training and safety rules still used today. To this day, the Shaft is remembered as both a natural wonder and a grave. It was February 25, 2022. 5 professional divers were performing maintenance at the PARIA Fuel Trading Company in Trinidad. They were inspecting an oil pipeline that stretched under the sea. Inside the pipeline, the air pressure changed suddenly, creating a powerful vacuum. Before anyone could react, one by one, the men were sucked into the narrow steel pipe. Inside, it was pitch black. Claustrophobic, no room to turn, no way to breathe freely. Only one diver, Christopher Boudram, managed to crawl for hours through the pipe and escape. The others, Faisal Kurban, Yusuf Henry, Rishi Nagasar, and Kazim Ali Jr., were trapped hundreds of meters inside. When their bodies were recovered, a GoPro camera was found. The audio revealed the men whispering prayers, telling each other to stay calm, accepting their fate together. A government inquiry later concluded that the accident was caused by gross negligence. No rescue plan, no risk assessment, no awareness of the pressure hazard. The PARIA disaster remains one of the most heartbreaking and preventable tragedies in modern diving history. January 25, 1998. Tom and EILEEN Lonergan, a married couple from Louisiana, joined a scuba tour out to the Great Barrier Reef. The day was perfect. Warm sun, calm seas, and good visibility. The group made 3 dives that day, but when the boat returned to shore, the Lonergans were missing. No one realized they had been left behind, drifting in open water 40 miles from land. 2 days later, their gear was found on the boat. By then, it was too late. Weeks later, 2 wetsuits washed ashore, carefully removed, not torn. Then came a chilling discovery: their dive slates. Written in pencil were the words, "To anyone who finds this, we have been abandoned. Please help." Despite a massive search operation, the couple was never found. Investigators believe they drifted for hours, possibly days, before succumbing to dehydration, sun exposure, or sharks. The case sparked outrage over safety procedures in Australia's dive industry and inspired the 2003 film Open Water. But the truth is far darker. Their final hours remain unknown, alone in endless blue. November 2020, Glacier National Park, Montana. 21-year-old LINNEA Mills was taking a cold water dive course at Lake McDonald. It was meant to be a controlled training session, but safety protocols failed at every level. LINNEA's instructor allowed her to dive with the wrong equipment for the conditions. Her dry suit and buoyancy system malfunctioned as she descended into the icy depths. She began sinking uncontrollably, faster, deeper, alone. Her dive partners noticed too late. At over 30 meters, she was struggling to breathe, unable to inflate her suit or ascend. Her calls for help were muffled through the regulator. Then, silence. When they reached her, LINNEA was unresponsive. Her tank still had air, but panic, equipment failure, and poor supervision had sealed her fate. Her death exposed serious negligence within the dive school's operations. Instructors faced lawsuits, and her case prompted new calls for stricter dive training oversight in the United States. LINNEA's story is a haunting reminder that even training dives can kill. On July 25, 1956, the Italian luxury liner SS Andrea Doria collided with another ship off Nantucket and sank into the Atlantic. More than 2,600 people were rescued that night, but 46 passengers died. For decades, the wreck has lured divers seeking adventure and artifacts. It lies 240 feet below the surface, dark, cold, and treacherous. Inside, the corridors are twisted metal and collapsing decks. Visibility drops to inches. Currents shift suddenly. Since the 1950s, over 20 divers have lost their lives exploring the Andrea Doria. Some became trapped inside the wreck's interior. Others were caught in nets or simply vanished into the dark. Veteran diver John Ormsby once called it a graveyard dressed as a dream. Today, the Andrea Doria continues to deteriorate, its decks collapsing under the weight of time. Few attempt it now. Those who do know the risks. They say the wreck is cursed, not by spirits, but by human curiosity itself. From sunlit coral reefs to oil pipelines, sinkholes, and ocean graves, these stories reveal one truth. The sea is beautiful, but it is not merciful. Every dive is a balance between wonder and danger, and sometimes the deep does not forgive.
Subscribe for more real-life dark documentaries. And remember, the scariest stories are often true.